Chapter 23. Everett. Everett followed an angry Bree to the reception desk of the hotel. "They are not going to give you his room number." "I would have Marty hack the system and find out for me, but since everything's still down, that isn't going to work," pertly replied B. "Plus, you know how persuasive I can be. I'm going to get Bill's room number." "He might not even be staying here," countered Everett. "He could have left or gone to a different hotel." "Bill likes to stay near the action," a confident Bree retorted. "He is here. Just hang back a minute." She came to the reception desk with a fixed smile on her face as she leaned on the counter, waiting for the clerk to greet her. The man finished scribbling something on a piece of paper before looking up. "Hello, welcome to Ramsley Hotels," he said warmly. "Hi." Bree trailed a fingertip along the counter and purposely battered her eyelashes just a little before inquiring in a breathy voice, "My boyfriend is staying here, and I wanted to surprise him. Could I get his room number?" "I'm sorry, miss. We don't give out guest information," regretfully stated the clerk. "I could perhaps call his room if you give me his name. Then he can meet you in the lobby if he does happen to be staying here." "His name is Bill Kepler. It might be under William." Bree leaned forward to touch his forearm with her hand. "It's his birthday, and it would really ruin the surprise part if we called him. Are you sure you couldn't just give me his room number?" "I apologize. It's against hotel policy," he repeated. "Is there any way you could make an exception, just this once?" wondered Bree in a sugary sweet voice. The clerk shook his head regretfully. "Bree, you know we can't give out guest information," sighed Ben. Bree leaned over the counter to see Ben sitting on the floor, matching up cables for the new computers being installed at the reception desk. "It's FBI Agent Bill Kepler. I want to grill him and find out what I can about what he knows regarding the FBI inquiry into the Ramsley family businesses." "Come on, Ben," inserted Everett as he came to the desk. "It might be the best way we can get ahead of the impending lawsuits." "The computers are down, so unless anyone remembers booking him in, I'm not sure we can help you," a slightly frustrated Ben stated, "although I would happily give you the FBI agent's room number." 263, supplied a clerk who was sorting papers to the side. "I'm sorry, I couldn't help but overhear. Mr. Kepler is in room 263. I booked him in yesterday." "Thanks," grinned Bree as she turned, heading to the stairs. "Appreciate it," echoed Everett as he quickly followed her. "I must be losing my touch," murmured Bree as they headed for the second floor. "Or it could be that Garrett trains his staff well when it comes to guest privacy," dryly noted Everett. "You could slow down, and we could devise a plan before confronting Kepler." "Where would be the fun in that?" smiled Bree. She headed down the hallway, looking at the door numbers. "We could provide a united front, maybe have some sort of strategy, get an explanation of events," suggested Everett. "He is going to explain himself," firmly stated Bree. She knocked briskly on the hotel room door. "I will make sure of it." Everett leaned against the wall, watching his girlfriend as she glared at the door. "You seem more upset than I am, which is interesting because it's my family which is under investigation." "Bill is supposed to be my friend. Friends don't treat each other this way," retorted Bree as she pounded on the door again with her fist. "First, he lets me in on the investigation when it comes to capturing David Ramsley, and now he's gone silent. We need to know what's going on. He should be combining resources with us to clear your brothers and cousins." "No one is going to be combining resources," stated Kepler dryly as he opened the door. "In case you hadn't noticed, you're not an FBI agent." "Bill, don't be so dramatic." Bree rolled her eyes as she slipped past him into the room. "You can't just barge your way into every situation," groused Kepler as he turned to follow Bree. Everett took the opportunity to step into the room as well. "It's her specialty." "You should keep your girlfriend under control, Ramsley," muttered Kepler as he watched Bree look over his tidy hotel room. You used to go out with her, Riley stated Everett. You, of all people, should know there is no controlling her. Nor do I try. It's part of her appeal. Bree gave Everett a dazzling smile. That is why I like you. Kepler took a deep breath to stem his growing impatience. There is no reason for both of you to be here. I am not about to discuss an ongoing investigation with the two of you. Come on, Kepler, said Everett as he sat down in the room's armchair. We all want the same thing. Justice. Even if it means putting some of your family in jail? Shrewdly questioned Kepler. Have you made any headway with the mad bomber? Deflected Bree. No, reluctantly revealed the FBI agent. The footage was erased. The bomb destroyed the cell phone trigger. The only thing we know is the earpiece was from a local electronics store. An agent is currently reviewing the store's video surveillance. Not that I expect he will find anything. Ben has gone through the data from the virus which erased the hotel systems, mentioned Everett. He thinks he knows who did this. Ben says he'll try to confirm his suspicions after everything is back up and running. Maybe he can get a lead on who the hacker transacted with for the virus. Why are you giving me this information? Asked Kepler. He folded his arms across his chest. Bree picked up the laptop on the desk, opening it. We thought if we cooperated, perhaps you would. It's password encoded, mentioned Kepler dryly. If you break my codes, I will have to arrest you. You are getting testy in your old age, sighed Bree as she set the laptop back down. She took a seat on the bed. Bill, we can help you with the investigation. No, thank you, tersely replied Kepler. My boss would have a fit. I'm not going to risk his ire, nor am I going to risk this case, by allowing the two of you access to information and the temptation to inform the Ramsley family. Hey, we can keep things confidential, protested Bree. He is a Ramsley, observed a wry Kepler. Telling him anything violates my investigation. Okay, so maybe I stay out of the loop, offered Everett. You and Bree work together. I have the utmost confidence in Bree. She can help you to find out what you need to clear the rest of my family. No one is going to be helping on this investigation, growled Kepler. The FBI is perfectly capable of bringing those responsible for crimes to justice. In other words, Bill is at a standstill, smiled Bree. You need us. I have a bomber on the loose, I have murders to solve, money laundering which the financial analysts are wrapping up, and some arrests to make, snidely returned Bill. I'm not at a standstill. What did the financial analysts find? Questioned Everett, suddenly concerned. Surely they recognize it was only the uncles and my father who were involved. They can't possibly consider anyone else. They considered several people. Kepler turned his icy stare on Everett. My boss is starting to put some pressure on this case. Apparently, they believe with the publicity and the fact that it's election year, some people are about to get nailed to the proverbial wall. It looks good when certain politicians are seen as tough on crime. The Ramsley family has been getting a lot of the wrong type of press lately, and the higher-ups are drooling to make an example out of your family. Even when people are innocent? Asked Everett as he got to his feet. You cannot charge them with something they didn't do. I will let the courts handle it, stated Kepler. All I can do is make certain of my evidence. Bill, you can't be serious, inserted an angry Bree. This family has done nothing but cooperate with you. They have tried to find out what they could and helped to put David Ramsley behind bars. You can't just bow to political pressure from your bosses and put innocent people at risk. Who says they are innocent? Inquired Kepler. You don't really believe that, said Everett with some heat. There's at least one murderer within your midst or closely associated with your family, responded Kepler. David Ramsley didn't just die on his own. I have every reason to believe Nate Ramsley's death was also foul play, which we will find out soon enough as I put a rush on the autopsy. Your cousin Henry is being poisoned. Nate's death was a heart attack, protested Everett before Kepler's words registered. He stared at him in shock. What do you mean Henry is being poisoned? Anyone who looks at him can see he isn't in good health. I subpoenaed his medical records, curtly replied Kepler. Henry has been poisoned for a number of years. His most recent doctor was alerted to the fact by a cardiosurgeon." Everett appeared speechless by the news. He shook his head and started pacing the room, thinking over what Kepler had revealed. "Does Henry know?" softly questioned Bree. "He was informed of it a couple weeks ago," sighed Kepler. "The proper authorities from the overseas office of the Ramsley hotels were notified and cooperated with the police over there. An investigation was carried out, and they have placed someone under arrest for knowingly poisoning Henry Ramsley. While the herbal treatment was originally legitimate for the complaint, the prolonged use of it created his current health situation. It was discovered the person who supplied the herbal remedy knew the long-term effects of it. They have yet to state if they colluded with someone in the Ramsley family or an associate of the Ramsley companies to deliberately poison Henry." "Under arrest already? So quickly?" Bree was impressed. "The burden of proof in that country is different than here," dryly mentioned Kepler. "However, I'm sure they thoroughly examined the case and came to the proper conclusions." "Who would want to kill Henry?" murmured a disbelieving Everett. "Everyone likes Henry. He's a great guy." "I have a few guesses," a grim Kepler said. "Who?" wondered Bree. "No," emphatically stated Kepler. "I have shared far too much as it is. No more. You need to stop trying to insert yourself into this debacle before either of you get charged with interfering in an investigation." "You like to use those words a lot, but you never back them up," scoffed Bree. "It might not be my choice," admitted Kepler. "There is a lot of scrutiny from higher up on this case. My supervisor just took over the investigation. All I am is a tool in the cog now." "All the more reason to let us help you," repeated Bree hopefully. "No," responded Kepler. "We are done here. The next time I see either of you, I will be making arrests. Now go make sure your family have good lawyers." "It's hard to have good lawyers when you're being driven into bankruptcy," Everett bitterly told the FBI agent. "All I can say is the Ramsleys are going to need them," firmly said Kepler. "Now, this meeting is over." Recognizing that Kepler wasn't about to discuss anything further with them, Bree hooked her arm in Everett's, tugging him out of the room. They stood in the hallway as Kepler shut the door on them. "Do you think he was lying about Henry?" wondered Everett with concern. "No. Bill has no reason to lie," softly replied Bree as she hugged his arm a little tighter. "It makes me wonder if something was missed with Nate." "The hospital said he died of a heart attack while running," frowned Everett as they walked along the hallway, headed for their rooms. "I don't see why they would get that wrong. Cora found him on the street. It must have been horrible for her. Now Kepler is digging Nate up. I wonder if Cora knows." "I hope not," sighed Bree. "I can't imagine what she's gone through, and adding that would be awful." "I just don't understand," admitted Everett. "How would their deaths even be connected? Other than the fact it was their hearts, I don't see how. Nate was out jogging. David was in prison before being temporarily transported to the hospital for physical complaints." "David died of a heart attack. At least that was the initial cause of death before it was revised," remarked Bree. "I had Marty pull the files from the hospital. He sent it to me this afternoon. The autopsy revealed a cardioplegia concoction was used to stop his heart artificially. It would have been inserted into his intravenous line. Within a minute or so, the heart would stop. Without further drugs or stimulus, the heart wouldn't restart, and David died." "How did they get past the security at the hospital?" scowled Everett. "It would be risky." "Marty says the computer systems went down, just like here at the hotel during the bomb scare," revealed Bree. "There are no records of who was in the room with David before his death. The security details stated only doctors and nurses went in, which we can surmise means someone wearing hospital scrubs went in to give David the fatal dose." "While you were talking to Sterling earlier today, I overheard Parker at the hotel reception area talking to his wife. He said his father had died." A grim Everett said, "How much do you want to bet Uncle James's death is suspicious as well? I wonder if it had something to do with his heart. Seems to be a trend here, other than the poisoning. That is a different method. I wonder if Henry will recover." Someone has it in for the Ramsleys. Noted Bree. We need to figure out who it is before anyone else gets hurt. I'm officially wiping my calendar clean until we get down to the bottom of this. Bill might not appreciate us investigating, but he can't stop us either. Thank you for listening to this chapter of The Wedding, Book 10 of the Ramsley Brothers series. Did you know that I have a newsletter? It's a weekly newsletter where I tell you all about my upcoming books, cover reveals, contests, different book promotions, and also share other books from my author friends. If you'd like to sign up, go to my website, josephinebeintema.com. Happy listening!